Hello, welcome to the Fish Perspective podcast. We're going to get right into introductions. I am one of the main hosts. My name is Skylar Smart, and I'm a senior from Peru High School. Um, I am a part of certain clubs at the school. I'm a three-season athlete. I'm part of the Peru Positive School Environment team, and as well as many others.
I'm Kenzie Whitmarsh. I'm also one of the main hosts here on this podcast. I'm a Leadership 103 student. I've been a part of this program for 3 years, and I'm also a four-sport athlete at the school.
I'm Addison Bickowitz. I'm one of the hosts, and I'm a junior. I've been doing leadership for 2 years now, and I'm a part of the Positive School Environment team here at Peru. I'm also part of the drama club, so I can also give different perspectives about that.
Hi, my name is Liam Clowney, and I'm a Leadership 102 student. I've been doing this for 2 years, and I'm also on the varsity football team, which is great. We have a game tonight against Beekman Town, sectional championship. I'm the club treasurer for Entrepreneurship Club, and yeah.
Hi, I'm Zoe Malcolm. I am a senior. I have actually never taken leadership, but I did go to the summit that they had in September. That was pretty awesome. I am part of the Positive School Environment team, and I play softball, and pretty excited for this.
Hi, I am Jen Gay, and I am currently on a leave of absence from Peru. I'm a 20-year veteran teacher, and I am currently working for Sweethearts and Heroes as the Director for Human Skills and Student Engagement.
Hi, I'm Adam Carter. I am one of the leadership co-teachers and a high school counselor at Peru. I've been here for 17 years and been part of the leadership program for 2 years. I absolutely love this program and looking forward to seeing where this podcast goes.
I'm Pat Fish. Nothing to do with the name of the podcast, different fish. I have been in Peru now for 5 years, I think, working with them in their leadership program here, and I am lucky enough to do this for a living. I travel around to schools all over and help build Sweethearts and Heroes related leadership brave programs in their schools.
I'm Matt Berry, the high school principal at Peru, the proud high school principal at Peru, and over just about 7 years ago met Tom Murphy and the Sweethearts and Heroes people, and met Pat Fish about 5 years ago, and engaged in this thing that we call Braves and leadership and human studies, and excited to see where we go next.
All right, so I just want to say that this is our first episode and that we're really excited to be here and to be having this circle in front of the public, in front of everybody, and excited to spread the word about Circle. Off camera, we've already been activated, so we're just going to get right into Circle. And the guidelines, we're going to have to modify some of them for the purposes of posting this to the internet, but the first one is going to be, we can't really say what happens in Circle stays here because, it's going on the internet, so we're going to say, something. The next guideline is you're allowed to skip. You don't have to answer all of the questions. We just ask that you actively listen and that you're here and a part of the circle. Passing is okay, and that you don't have to answer all of the questions. Everything is going to stay in a sequence, and that once I pass it either to Mr. Barry or to Miss Gay, it's going to go all the way around until it gets back to me. And yeah, this is the talking piece. Oh my goodness. This is the talking piece, and when someone has a talking piece, they're going to be the only one that's speaking, and everybody else is going to be listening and paying attention, just to keep everybody nice and happy, and so no discussions happen. Yeah, so we'll get right into it. So we are going to talk about why we started the podcast and the whole goal for the podcast and our goals for the 103 class.
So, as an independent study project, I am very proud of the students that are here today putting together this podcast, which is completely student-led. I am very happy that it started with an idea from Addie at Summit in September, and I can't wait to see it grow. I'm interested in showing the circle format and how it can be used in multiple different ways to show different perspectives.
I'm just personally so glad that this big idea is coming to life and that we get to be able to share that people are not alone, and although they might not feel that they have people, this podcast will be able to help people realize that some people are in the same exact or close to the same situation. And that's really the main point of why that we wanted to start this podcast, because everyone has those moments where they don't quite feel heard or seen, and I really want everyone deserves to be heard and seen.
So super proud of Addie for coming up with this idea, and then for Skylar and Kenzie to take it and run with it. It's a lot of work. I had the pleasure of having both Kenzie and Skylar in class last year, and I have complete confidence in them that this is going to be amazing because they are awesome. Addie touched upon it a little bit. What I'm really looking forward to this is hitting a bigger audience, and you can learn that doesn't matter the background you come from, your hobbies, your interests, whatever you're into, we all have connections. We're all going through a lot of similar struggles. Doesn't matter if you're an athlete, if you're in a drama, whatever. We have a lot in common, more than you think. So stick this podcast out, give it a shot, and you're going to realize there's a lot of strengths and struggles and things that we're all going through together, but this is how we're going to help each other get through them.
Just the ideals of, the outreaching the ideals of Circle and the community aspect of Circle that we've developed here at Peru outside of our community and outside of even our state or nation beyond into the whole world. And that really is a very inspirational ideal. And we and other schools alike are making efforts to, achieve that and make it a reality. And I believe that's very honorable. And I'm honored myself to be on the podcast and to represent. And thank you.
I have so many things that I feel like I could say here, but Sweet Arts and Heroes, for me, one of the things that drew me to it in the first place is that it was never really about, hey, if you see someone being treated the wrong way, tell the teacher about what they're going through, and the teacher will handle it. And I think it's about empowering young people to be the people that step up and, change other people's lives and save other people's lives. And for me, this is an exemplary piece of what Peru has done with, some of our messaging and then, some of their own really great people who have made this work. And this is just the next stage in the process of listening to young people is what it's been about since the very beginning. And I think this is a really neat way to just very directly, listen to the thoughts and perspectives of young people. So thanks for doing this.
I'm super excited for this and to see what comes from it. I can't wait to see all the impact it'll have, and I'm hoping that it'll inspire other people to do stuff like this and reach out to others and show that you're not alone, that you have other people to go to if you need help. And even if you don't feel comfortable, that maybe listening to this will help you through it, even if you're not actually interacting with anybody. So, yeah.
Well, principal hat, we have a 101 program in our leadership program, a 102 program, or level, and the blueprint is laid out very well. We have a curriculum. We know what we're trying to do. We do circle work. We work with young students. We do bully drills. The list goes on. We did have open space in 103, and thank you, Addie, for coming up with an idea. But I think the more important part is that a team got behind that idea to make it grow. And then that's amazing. That's what we're trying to do. We've been at this for about 6 years. And I highlight that because where we are now, when people ask me, what do you do for SEL at your school? I have a pretty good answer. And it's not because of what I did. It's because of what the young people want to do at Peru, along with our instructors. I don't want to discount anything, but our instructors have been amazing at letting go of the reins and letting the kids run with the ball. That has been the most amazing thing for me. You can't bring in a person as amazing as Sweethearts and Heroes, their assembly is, and as amazing and powerful it is that day. That won't change the culture of your school. The only thing that will change the culture of your school are your students, and here they are.
I was going to say something very similar to Mr. Barry, and how we didn't really have a layout for our 103 class, and we worked our way up through all of the levels, and we kind of got to a point where we're like, well, what's next? Because there is no 103 class. And so we had to try to come up with something creative to incorporate the community as well as students here at Peru, and make everything cohesive and go together. And it was definitely an idea that came out of nowhere, and it was a left field kind of suggestion, and we took it and we're trying to run with it, and I think we're going to get there. And I'm so excited for what the future holds with the podcast, and it makes me so giddy just thinking about it. But yeah, we're going to segue into our next question.
So our next question is just kind of easing into just like a simpler circle question to kind of ease in to what we're trying to get out here. But the question is, what is a book, movie, or just a song that gets you?
I'm an Adele fan through and through, so I'd have to say the album 19, and if you go through that album, Chasing Pavements or Hometown Glory would really just get me today, because we have worked so hard just to where we are. And honestly, this is all I've been thinking about all week, because I've just been so pumped and ready for it. And I'm just so proud of everyone and everything we've been able to accomplish, basically. But yeah, I'm just so proud of everyone.
So I want to put in perspective, because for those of you who are listening, you can't see it. Our talking piece is a fish that is duct taped to a microphone. So just keep that in your mind as we're passing this thing around. So instead of dropping the mic, I'm going to drop the pike later. But anyways, there's two movies that come to my mind that I think of. I love Resiliency and Underdogs. Some of you might have no idea, but I know Mr. Barry and maybe Pat and Jen might know, but Hoosiers and Rudy. Two movies that's about an underdog story of people like rising up, overcoming challenges, and showing those who doubted them that they can succeed. So.
First of all, Mr. Carter, that remark was awesome. Only you would be able to slip a joke into something so minuscule. But Hoosiers is a fantastic movie. My father's always been into sports movies, and so he's always been into movies. But I've never really been into movies. I'm more into books, but more than books, I'm into music, and I'm sure a lot of you know that. I'm always walking around with my headphones on, and I always have music. So it's a pretty easy question for me. I would revert to my favorite song for my favorite band of all time, and that is easily "Escape Is at Hand" from the Traveling Man from the Tragically Hip. And Mr. Barry knows them very well. And just what the title of the track reverberates itself when, encouraging traveling and get more experiences, which is what we're all doing here now. This is a new experience for most of us, if not all of us. And that is a lesson that I am very thoroughly believe in, that we need to experience new things, see new things. And I'm very excited to see what the future beholds. And the basis of leadership is setting a good grounding for that.
So I was smirking over at Mr. Barry as Mr. Carter shared his answer because I happen to know that Mr. Barry is not a sports movie guy. He's a big sports guy, does not like sports movies whatsoever. And I remember him saying that because I was like, wow, that's a really interesting thing. But he's like, it's not realistic. Like, it's just like a little montage of them working hard and then all of a sudden they're good to go. And I just remember that. I'm like, wow, it's so true. Like every one of those movies, but I like the movie Hoosiers. It's a really interesting one. Remember the Titans is another good one. The soundtrack of that one. So I think I got to go back to music. Two songs that I like a lot of different types of music for a lot of different emotions, but as far as like getting me, I feel like most people in my life would say I'm overwhelmingly positive. There's not a lot of bad things that can happen that I'm like, oh no, this is the end of the world. I try to think on. So two very different songs, but both overwhelmingly positive. Love Yours by J. Cole is a very, very deep and meaningful song, and I'm a huge fan of that one. And then another one, compared to that one, very different, but there's a song called Rainbow by Casey Musgraves that is beautiful and kind of the same messaging. One's rap, one's kind of country-ish slow ballad, but I think that the overwhelming message of both of them is, you got to look at the bright side sometimes, and it's an important thing to be able to do.
I'm honestly not sure. But my mom used to play Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles, and so whenever that plays, she says it reminds her of me, I guess. I don't know, so that was what came to my head, so I guess I'll just go with that.
Don't guess. That was amazing. Your mom would be proud to hear that. So yeah, I'm a sports guy who hates sports movies. However, Hoosiers is the exception that proves the rule for me, and I think I'll highlight a piece of that. And I don't want to talk too long, but an amazing part of Hoosiers is the head coach gave the town drunk, the guy who was a miserable person in everybody's eyes, a chance to be his assistant coach. And that's kind of that particular part of the movie. That's really, the basketball's great. I'm a basketball guy. I coach basketball. But that particular part of the movie, that's what got me. So Hoosiers, really good suggestion. And, Liam, you got it. Tragically Hip. And it's amazing for me to have a student in high school right now connect with this band that I connected with in high school. But I know Liam's family a little bit, so I know where that comes from. And so it's a good life if you don't weaken by the Tragically Hip. And all you people who are out there, if you haven't listened to these people, Gord Downey, rest in peace, Canadian Shakespeare, has some terrific lyrics to all of his songs. And in It's a Good Life If You Don't Weaken, perhaps the thing that sticks with me is, let's get friendship right, live life day to day. And that to me, that's something I go to when, although it's kind of a solemn song, it's a song I go to because of the message.
Liam, can I just say, I love how well-spoken you are. Like, seriously, if you're walking down the hallway, you're not hearing people who speak like you, and you just know all of the right words, and your vocabulary is immaculate. But I don't think that I have anything that really is me, but I have favorite things that I just feel like it's in my soul, fits my feelings, and it, so I guess it kind of fits me. But I love like the 2000 alt kind of music, like the alternatives. Like, I like Incubus and Red Hot Chili Peppers and Plain White Tees. I love them all, and they will always have a place in my heart. I grew up listening to them while my mom was cleaning, and it was always playing. And so whenever I need a good pick-me-up, those are the types of music I go to, because it's just filled with nostalgia and the feeling of, this is my childhood. This is what I remember.
I don't think I can pick one thing that really gets me. But like Pat, I feel like I try every day to be very positive and to spread that positivity to others. And some people in the circle know that Justin Timberlake is my celebrity crush. Justin, hit me up. So I like the song Can't Stop the Feeling from the Trolls soundtrack. I think it's a really happy song. And I, like, this year my goal is not to stop the feeling of joy. Like, this is my joy year. And so that song really resonates with me. Apparently, I need to listen to the Tragically Hip. I know of them, but I don't know any specific songs. And I relate to Pat Fish because I also grew up and enjoy rap music. And as I was sitting here trying to think of a rap song, all I kept thinking about was songs that were inappropriate to say. So that's why I went with Justin.
Pat, I love the I love the Remember the Titans movie. It's my favorite. I'm always quoting Coach Boone's, "You drop a pass, you run a mile." I love that movie. But for me, the Walk the Line movie, the Johnny Cash movie, I love that movie so much. I think I watch it every week. My parents are probably like, please stop renting it on Prime, spending $2 every week. But I literally cry every time. Like, I feel like it's just so empowering that you go through such such a traumatic childhood and you get into substance abuse, and it's just so empowering that you can get out of it. Like, there's a way out. And just like that, his like band member, like June Carter, was able to help him out of it, and they ended up getting married, and it's just such a beautiful story. I love it. And my first song, definitely like Nutshell by Alice in Chains. I actually cry every time I listen to that song. It's just such a beautiful song with just such a sad meaning. I'm gonna pass it back to Skylar for the next question.
My song, like what you just said, is Zombie by the Cranberries. I feel like that song is so like I don't know how to explain it in words, but it has this this feeling that it's like, oh my gosh, the solemnness and like the heavy feeling of like addressing issues. Anyways, we're not gonna keep going with that, but let's keep going with the feelings of like talking about ourselves. And so we're gonna say, what is something that you are most proud about yourself? What are you most proud to say? Or what do you want people to talk about or think about at your funeral?
Wow. Well, if you haven't, my funeral, if you haven't seen the movie Captain Fantastic, you need to watch it. There is a scene in there in which there's an acoustic version of "Sweet Child of Mine" sang by his family, or by the matriarch of the family, the star of the movie's wife who passes. And it's kind of morbid, but if you watch the movie and understand the context, she was in a funeral pyre. If you know what a funeral pyre is, it's a fire. And her body was in the fire, and the family celebrated around the fire. That's something I would want people to do, is celebrate around me, as kind of weird as it sounds, and allow my spirit to go where it needs to go. And what I would hope they would say is, and this has taken me, this is probably a quality that maybe some people think I have, maybe they don't, but I'm going to do what I feel is right. And as much as this sounds dismissive, it's not. I don't care what the haters say. I'm going to do me. I'm going to move forward. If I know what's right, that's what I'm going to do. There was a book out there called The Art of Not Giving. And I like to think I got there in my life, and not giving an expletive in a bad way, but in a way of, I'm going to do what's right. And if you're not going to get on the train, you're going to stay at the station.
So I want everyone to, like what you said, like celebrate, not in like remember, I don't know who I was. Like, I worked so hard at things, and every day is going to be different. Nothing's ever going to be the same, and pushing yourself through the challenges. Some days are going to be easier than others. Like sometimes like softball is a big thing for me. So pushing myself to do extras, even though like I feel better some days. So like some days I'll do like the minimum, just working on mechanics maybe, or and then other days I'll like push myself to go do workouts and then go practice or something like that. But I just want to make sure I have a positive impact on everybody around me and everything that I do. And I know everybody makes mistakes, and that's one thing I struggle with, is like learning from my mistakes, because I'm afraid to make them. So I'm working on that, but I want to make sure I inspire others, everybody, and make sure like everybody gets down. So trying to help others to get up. So like when I'm down, I hope everybody, like some people, have my back, so we can continue to support each other no matter what.
I think I speak for everyone here. I hope it's years and years and years from now for all of us. But as far as what's said at my funeral, I don't know if I'm too concerned with that. I think I'd much rather be judged based upon the eclectic, diverse group of people that show up. I think it's going to be a pretty awesome mix of people that have come into my life, and I'm lucky enough to get to spend time with people of all different backgrounds, different beliefs, and it's a cool thing to be able to, become close with people that aren't exactly like you. So I hope that that's what's at my funeral. A lot of different people that are like, what's this person doing here? That's kind of weird.
One of my main goals in life is, to spread positivity and instill positive energy into people, and of course embody positivity, like Mr. Fish. And sorry, Pat. I still prefer Mr. Fish, and it's even better now that we have a Fish Perspective podcast. But either way, and plus, a lot of people said that I facilitate circles like you do, so that's definitely a win in my book. For another example, my brother, he's recently been promoted to the lead electrician in the #1 ski lift company in the world, and he's been doing fantastic, making a wonderful name for himself. But he's always been a person who has been always positive and always increased the energy in any room that he's been in, and I've really sincerely trying to follow his footsteps. And also, he's since before COVID, he's been out working out west, so he's been away from home. And, obviously we stayed in touch, and he told me about his experiences and his struggles and the things that he's learned. And I definitely want to follow suit with that. And I want to be remembered as a person at my funeral who wasn't subjugated to fear, and who didn't let fear preside over my decisions and my actions. Like it's always been, and especially recently, it's always been an aspiration of mine to hop on a bicycle and pack it with camping gear and just bike across the country, and just bring speakers and listen to music, play music all the time. That's a massive aspiration for me, and I will make it happen, and that's a guarantee. I won't let fear reside over me, and that's what I want people to remember me as, somebody who challenged himself, and but also was underlined in all the communities that he's been in, or that I've been in, that I've increased, the positivity and the energy within those circles. But more or less, I want to be remembered as a person who challenges myself at all times, in any regards of life.
I think what I'm most proud of is my ability to connect with people using my humor and my wit. We talk about leadership, what's your superpower, and that is that. And I think it helps me connect with kids in a good level, because I think sometimes working with adults in school, we can maybe be intimidating to kids. And then once you kind of get to know me, I've had kids that be like, Mr. Carter, you just look intimidating. And then I finally got to know you, and like, you're actually a pretty cool guy. And I'm like, well, cool. Well, thanks for giving me the chance. Don't judge a book by its cover. So I think that's something I live by. My motto is life's too short to be serious. Laugh hard, laugh often. I'm all about that. At my funeral, what I want to do is, and there's not too many who do it nowadays. Most people A lot of people get cremated. I want an open casket, and I want to be wearing a New York Giants jersey, a Duke hat because I'm a big sports guy, and I want them to fix my mouth so I'm smiling, and I want my thumbs to both be up. So to bring a little bit of, again, humor and laughter to the last moments that they're going to see me, that's what I want it to be like. So that's how I'm going to go down, hopefully a long time from now.
So I've been watching the show recently called This Is Us, and it makes me so happy. And like, there's so many different ways it makes me happy. But one of the characters passed away, and his only the only thing he wanted was for his granddaughters to make the memorial of his funeral. The only rule was nothing sad, everything fun. And I kind of really want that to be how I'm remembered. I want that to be how I go out. It's just like fun and like lighthearted and just like no worries. Like bad things happen, and I want the good to be remembered out of the bad, because there's always a silver lining, and I just think it's important to remember that. And I want people to remember me as like a shoulder, as silly as that sounds. Like, I just want people to always know that I was there for them, and even when it felt like I wasn't, like, I'd always be willing to let them use me as like a place to go to when they needed it, an outlet. I just want to be remembered as a good person and a good human, and there's no one in this circle I would say won't be remembered as that, because they all have their good human attributes and qualities, and I think we all have really cool things about us.
Yeah, Mr. Carter's definitely one of the coolest people I've ever met, even though he can be a little skip. One thing I'm proud of myself for is my sophomore year, I got cut from varsity soccer and varsity basketball 2 seasons in a row, and because my coaches told me that they didn't feel as though I had the confidence for a varsity sport, which honestly at that time was probably valid. But honestly, it did destroy my confidence a little more. But I went back to the JV practices every day, and I worked my butt off in those practices to make myself a leader on that team, and honestly to make myself better and to gain the confidence that I needed for a varsity sport. And I feel like that just helped me become such a confident person, was getting cut, because Michael Jordan, he got cut from his, I think it was either JV or varsity team, and he came back, and look at him now. And I feel like that's just my thing, is like overcoming adversity in sports and even just in your life. And I feel like that definitely has made me the person I am today, because I came back the next years and I started those games on varsity, and I was definitely more of a confident person. And as my funeral goes, I honestly hate thinking about death. So for my funeral, instead of a funeral, I don't want a funeral. I want a celebration of life. And I just want people to party, not really thinking about me, but just to party and have a good time.
I have seen your confidence grow over the last few years, and it's been a beautiful evolution. I am very proud of you. So, Kenzie, you're on a really good path, and I'm so happy that I get to experience that path with you. In terms of myself, I guess I'm just really proud of my resilience. I've had a lot of trauma in my life, and I'm still sitting here at 40-something years old and still have a positive outlook. So that's what I'm most proud of. And I also don't want a funeral. I don't even know if, though, I want a celebration of life. What I would like is for everyone that knew me or knows me now to do one act of kindness, whether that be like a pay it forward or volunteering somewhere. I don't like the spotlight on myself, and I don't think that at the end of my life I want people to realize what they have to give, not what they can give somebody who's dead.
I like that a lot. And also Mr. Carter, an open casket. Oh, those are scary. I've been to 2 funerals in my life, and one of them was an open casket, and that will always stay with me. I don't want my body to be shown off. I don't know if I would like to be cremated or a funeral in a casket, but I don't know what I want. I don't know. With Zoe and what Kenzie said, I agree with both of you as well. I think through the leadership classes and stuff, I've definitely figured out who I am more than I think I would have on my own. It taught me, how to be a good person and how to stand up for myself and learn how to say no and to not let people walk all over me, and I'm so grateful. And I think this concludes the circle, but it was a great first episode, guys. We did so good. And also, I want to end it with a fish joke from Tom Murphy. He suggested that we do fish jokes. So here goes the first one. So what did the fish say when he ran into a wall? Mr. Carter! Mr. Carter just ruined the joke. It's damn! The fish said damn when he ran into the wall. Psh. Anyways. Thank you, and we're gonna drop the pike now, and we hope everybody has a good day.